Went down against Offaly, and they still came back and beat Offaly by 5 points. It wasn't a great game though. It wasn't a great game between Offaly and Cork. So Kilkenny are favourites going into this, but it'll be very interesting to see just how good they are, because they'll need to be really good to beat Galway in the final.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a read, I suppose, on Cork from the other minor semi-final, because that Munster final was between Tip and Cork. Then Tip came here and were beaten by Galway the last day. So,
but only beaten by 3 points.
Yes,
you know, 219 to 216.
And had been leading,
and a very good. And Niall Healy really was the difference between the two teams. You know, Niall Healy for corner forward from Galway was the difference between the two teams. But the thing about Cork is, it's not our central players have been the stars of it. We have a fella like Shane O'Neill at cornerback, Stephen Cronin at wing back. They've been their best defenders. And then Mark Harrington and Ronan Conway, when he came on as a sub the last day. Cork have changed the team 4 times, you know, and brought on new players. And hopefully by today they'll have got a settled team, because they'll need to be a settled team in order to take on this Kilkenny team.
Well, that's an unusual thing, I suppose, in a minor thing. I mean, one of the papers kind of today said a new look kind of Cork minor team, which for under 18s kind of is a bit. It's normally new look anyway every year, kind of. But still,
it's unreal how I will say. You know, Offaly and Clare couldn't make that many changes, you know. But Cork can change. 3 players from one day. Next now they'll have 4 new players on. Now they're in the semi-final, they'll have 4 new players again. But Kilkenny have stuck mainly to the same group. They have great faith in this team, and it's just makes it so interesting to see how good will they be today. You know, we'll know by half-time. We'll know by half-time.
Certainly we'll do that. Well, as we said, Cork have been out now for a good few minutes, getting used to their surroundings here at Croke Park. Somebody very well used to the surroundings in Croke Park over the years, it has to be said, is Gerard Canning, who will be the commentator on our main match of the afternoon. Gerard is down pitch side right now.
Thanks indeed, Michael. Yes, down here at pitch side, first of all, a word about the conditions. Ideal for hurling today. It's not as sunny or as hot as it has been in recent days. A light breeze blowing as well. Pitch in ideal condition, and I think, sir, nobody will have any complaints. If you can't play today, you can't play at all, really.
Gerard's fantastic out here. The surface is beautiful. It's going to be very, very fast games. It's going to suit hurling teams, really. The more risky and the more crafty you are, the better it is.
Massive incentive.
Yeah, Gerard, like Kilkenny have to be favourites because they are the champions as such, and they've done nothing wrong to dislodge them as favourites. But Tip have been living for this game for the full year. Last year here, this very same occasion, with 4 minutes to go, it was level pegging on the scoreboard as such, and the game could have gone either way. Now today, like, Tip will believe that this is their day. Kilkenny have been out of competitive hurling for 6 or 7 weeks, and we saw what happened. Like, Cork nearly got caught by Wexford over a week ago, and yesterday came back and blew them out the gate. Now Kilkenny will be kind of forewarned by what happened to Cork, and they'll be on edge that Tip don't catch them today.
When you
so far and build up, but I'd say they're really geared up for today. Like any Cork team that you play, you have to be on your at your best to beat them. So, but I think that the Kilkenny team just look particularly strong. All Ireland colleges made it, All Ireland minor last year. A lot of them, you know, they're really great pedigree, and I'd go for the Kilkenny team.
Our minor team were here yesterday having a look around after the senior replay, Gerald, and another O'Halpine on this Cork team here.
That's right, a man with a very strange name, a Heskey's O'Halpine, a big tall man again. So I'm telling you, in a few years' time, you could have 3 O'Halpines, and look at the size of him again. Very, very like Satantes, but when he fills out a small bit. And Satantes, such a huge game, and Sean Older was so fantastic yesterday. But going back to the senior game again, I suppose the crucial thing is, how will this inexperienced Tipperary full backline perform? Martin Maher, Paul Curran, the Keegan's team as well. He's already in All-Ireland middle this year, from this year. And I remember meeting him a few years ago as a small ginger-haired fella. Now he's big, strong minor. You know, Paddy Prendergast is already playing as well as wing back.
That's
so when you were Cody and a Prendergast and a Finlay in midfield, and then this mighty John Tennyson probably at centre back, you have a formidable defence there and a formidable base on which to form a minor team. So that is why people should look at this game, because it will give a very good pointer as to where Kilkenny are going for the future.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. So the officials then are leaving the pitch and leaving it to the 2 sets of players for this minor semi-final. That's our cue then to join our commentary team for the afternoon. Marty Morrissey is in the box with Micheál O'Shea.
Agus niet voor een Chorcaí go bhfuil míad féchant umhat sanara iad á dhéchant le Kilkenny cúnta het tradiisiúnta á dhéchant le chéile a bhfuil der le chéile ráh líon hana rimisio agus seachúibh inis for an Chorcaí agus iad súd fé bhainistiocht runnacha í rion sinné donnacha istig a lá slí agus an idan an son donnacha an son go bhfuil bheith fiechantéir an éanach leis na hinadethe agus an éidir iad iligeléir mo ar báid go nó go mór lei seo mar tá far an anláidir ar fád a Kilkenny denúracha a bhfuig craobh na héireann an éirig agus sechuid an éidir na níos agus a lán athrathe dianta ige Corcaig ón éireann chail craobh na mún an aig Habradáren agus Sinead an sanéad heb bháin den báid agus a bhile me mí fiechantanis i Kilkenny rán na cotíantachta dar nó iad Kilkenny ach siad Corcaig go bhfuil míad i fiechanta an sahara heb na láimh lé agus a meine stúir donnacha óíis de go láslí agus be cúl na cosédia go chosint go súd sa chéad le agus cúl na canálach a chosint ige Kilkenny ábhíon gaithe is séide timppla na páidce an sa agus Sinead gaibh chud an Kilkenny rán na cotíantachta agus na geallhlachadóirí agus amánathe sár amánathe ina meas go John Tennyson agus donnacha Cody David Prendergast go nach trúr lua a meas na gosantóirí Lá Parkinson, Michael Fennelly, Michael, David Prendergast, dar nó Mac the Feddy, donnacha Mac the Vrian, John Tennyson, Jehoid, Issued, Pat Tennyson, Richie Power, und Pogánach, Richie Sóisiir a mistéid, bhí a head a gimmert chomá, agus Ray Wall a stig sa chúine, áharúdianta go héanagus Pat Hartley, dar nó dimid a Ray Wall, Joe, the Kilkenny na seascadí, óma, ach Sechuin inis iad Olaf chun túsa chuir leis glutha Marty.
Yes, indeed. This should be a most intriguing, exciting All-Ireland minor hurling semi-final. Kilkenny with 10 of last year's All-Ireland winning team. They're hot favourites, indeed, not alone to win this game, but indeed to win the championship outright.
Agus Barry Kelly a bhail de fadóige ón Irví, Peladóir agus Amáni, agus Slutar Caitisteach agus Ahrahédianta go Corcaig hana hain, Stephen Cronin am a lápáidge an éanach le ón Manning acu. Slutar amach Harrisha de bhlíine fe bun Ardán í Chisóig, agus Stephen Cronin i bhí cúgad a grám, ach tá sé gimmart a lápáidge don giadúir riamh is dólam ní dólam go rimar sé a lápáidge hana.
It's funny that we often see it in senior games, but not so much in minor games. Donncha Cody is gone from centre-back to right half-back. John Tennyson is at centre-back, and John Dalton, named a corner-back, has gone in full-back.
Marsin ahrathe dianta ón dáthe, bhaid Saki ó Halpín i Shelley Beclitin, ach a iarach zúd sáirithe, agus Cachtamach lethe, o Lord Páidge, a gurir an ónsaí ruhamach, Cha Fitzpatrick, gur a dábhaile áfach, agus seachuin Corcaig i dhéirigh dul ar an ónsaí. Schlitter, goed verder is dat no Marsin, amach hon cool, a dalove gonaí, agus fachta godas an son ag Peter O'Donovan, ante ag siúd da Kilkenny, man a teblín agus nach napar fat san éir an son da Kilkenny, bhuilte isteach, Joe Cha a bhóla amach an son godi David McCormack, ach sára histig an son ag Ono Sullivan, báideoir Corcaí, agus dhéirigh Tachtamach leis Schlitter ar a dálamh ansa da Corcaig. Mark Harrington bhfuilte trasna na páidce agus an bhaise an chéad scór an fadlá páidce an son anna geannaige ón Manning da Corcaig an chéad féinte.
This is the start that Cork wanted. Owen Manning getting the good pass and taking his chance with ease.
An tús a bhí ó Corcaig is tócha an chéad scór fachtacha ach tá sé mós bua san immert fós agus seachún Ronan Conway. Dhéirigh Schlitter a gáil, fachtaige, ach é buint Schlitter buinteá agus dhéirigh dul ar an ónsaí Richie Power. Bhfuilte amach ag siúd, fachta, nó le achta, Barry Coleman in Hibwig. Agus achta gáirid. Achtamach leis Schlitter, tá best tímplaid. Bhfuilte póngrocht an Davlíne an sa. David Prendergast, amach leis. David, agus bhóla fachtaige ó Owen Manning, ach Calais dianta ag an Prendergast, idir an Moltóir, agus Pucksair da Corcaig. Marsin, Michael Ahern a hócaig in Counsa. Michael Ahern, dimmer sé siúd, haine sé mar onadaí an aig Habradáren, Fevlin agus fihe, the Horkig, Martian, Anna Viana Khan. Helmore Ard Wiltige, Idrona Carnoige, ach Bachta Howl agus Bantig, Shane Cadigan. Mach Fanna Tevlin, On Mangan, On Manning, Gahor, the Hamach Harish at Tevline, agus Puckschnasse, the Horkig, Brian Clifford. Image and Liddy Glow, agus Gimmer Timliana, Anna Amani Fad, agus Schnean Bine Studenson, Dennis Ring. Brian Clifford, Stachel Ashley, Bachta Gadasaka, John Dalton, Emma Wig. Eiltig agus Anna Pashich, Dienta Unson, again. Gorkrieg, Morris O'Sullivan, Wulte Egamaris, had him the live at Clay. Marcin, Tokamach of Egound, Holland Grant. Raif ile éireann aige ionarig, bhí sé sa chólannarig ó chláiste bhaide I Mile Owen agus seothe Mark Harrington atá agus díos builteige naig ápénig hénig a ceart go leor Mark bhíchaige mar de lápáisce go dtí agus sa snébaine stóirthaí chuinnig an bráthar Damien Brennan. Multoid I Kintu, go bhfuil sé ceart go leor agus tá nó bhfuil tá sé teachta go Joan Tevline, beidir go bhfuil ábhaíonn fola leis nó bhfuil ná ní gá sé ceart go leor. Colm Grant, Cal Moore, fada builteige, Harish Lord na páidge. Agus Kilkenny, Gerrig Dullard an ónsaí, Leatháirithe an son, Michael Fennelly. Agus an lán cholaí ó Chorpaig, Niall Horgan. Cosint fa a dhéanamh agus na Corpaí go díosa. Bhuilte amach an son ag Peter O'Donovan. Ní fada bhfuil, stecha Jonah Carnoige. Ordile Isaaci agus seansa go Corpaig an ó chól an son ag Kevin Canty. Kevin Canty.
Wonderful goal here by Kevin Canty from Valley Rovers, and you look at his positional sense here. He allowed Isaaci to go up and then just whipped on it first time. Beating Colm Grant in the goal, all hands up. The goalkeeper had no chance here. Look at the breaking ball here. Beautiful pull right into the net.
Marcin an lasar sa bhara chutsa Hannah Hénig agus Corpaig me hechontasig Anna Hain agus na Pasantóirí I dhéanamh Magadór go díosa. Ach se chuin deis na Kilkenny, Pat Hartley, bhuilte steige fachta go James Fitzpatrick. Agus Calais dianta tre Marcin Pucksair de Kilkenny. Rina Loive, dar no Lonta tre.
This is a beautiful goal for Cork. It's Kevin Canty's second goal. Scored a goal in the last round against Offaly. This was a real beauty.
Richie Power, a Hócaig an Pucksair, Richie Soisiir. Romashis, agus Get scored the Kilkenny ag Richie Power. Iad lochtaíochta Kilkenny. Owen O'Sullivan, a bólan clitir, amach Joe Lorna Poidge. Agus Deireadh Schlitter a gáilt an son. David McCormack a Emma Wig, mach Joe an Tevline, agus Puckschnasse de Chorpaig. Barry Coleman, a Hócaig in Counsa, ifir a hochtar a grám, a gimmert mar lecholaí na láibe disise. Bhuilte steige agus sáirithe Michael Ahern. Agus inis sé sealt Kilkenny a bheitthe cosint, agus Dullard an ónsaí, tre Fitzpatrick agus Niall Horgan. Methe atara, Shane O'Neill I teachta nón. Lantlamachige. De Cork. Agus Puxair de Kilkenny. John Dalton, Saramani. He said a panel on the O Harik na Shaw, Comale Tennyson agus Richie Power. Hey John Dalton. Back at Joe na Carnoige. Anún Low agus Ray Wall am Chantasig agus Denise Rimishamach, Pat Hartley. Pat Hartley, Stach John Chool agus Anna Cholín o Ile Anna Year again Pat Hartley.
Kilkenny beginning to settle as the game progresses. Very good score here by Pat Hartley. Had to work hard to gather possession.
Bantamach agus Bachdagedes and son again. Brendan Barry. Brendan Barry, Stach Joe, Trevna Lord Clay.
Just a positional switch there on the Cork team as well. Brendan Barry is now on the 40. Kevin Canty, the goal scorer, is now at full forward.
Marshin, Colin Grant. Irish Lord na Poitke. Samachna Joe, Mark Harrington. Dachad Lashley. Ifada Chuig. Kilkenny Guinness, Nundi David McCormack, David Amatle, Shansiga David, Roada Edgley Laguerre.
Defensively, you'd have to say that Cork have battled very well so far with players like David McCormack. Beautiful skill here by Ray Wall, or rather John Tennyson.
Owen O'Sullivan, Amach Goody, Owen Elle, Owen Manning, Tach the Gowded, Brian Clifford, Anna Tevline, Acha Puxlasse, the Kilkenny. Shane Cadigan, Aravier Manel, the Bliana Nedig, Asha Glosh, the Ilun and the Podrick, Drum Conroch, and Bliana. Johe. Good to get, Goody David McCormack, Stachanish, Goody Richie Powell. Sarah and so again Michael Ahern. Wasn't Tony Horky, Sauce the Gamalo Hain Gadisa. Eddie Norton, John Dalton, Sarah Money, Goody Shane Cadigan. Mach Harisha Devline, Agus le Corkbig in Council. Brian Clifford, the Nugas Nahamana is fair Davila Coyle Ravlian, Amani and Sporadic on Farsa. Rachian Bultige, Bravaris, Uterator, I guess, Puxair, the Kilkenny. Michael Fennelly, Macle Michael, Hailach Coilewil, Wally Hale, Al Murad Bultige, Agus and Meshe Kreen of Ohen, Niveg, Ed Foreen.
Well, we've almost had 12 minutes played, Micheál, and this game really hasn't sparkled into life at all in comparison with last Sunday's minor match between Galway and Tipperary. It was a fine game of hurling.
Well, big will Chemos Low, I can cast the good goodies up. Neil Tanum Kianach again. Jacquin Ono Sullivan, Mahacho Lord na Poitke, Agus Pat Hartley. And then it's Joe Ray Wall, Acha Dolda Sood, and the Skulord and Schlitter, and Amach Harisha Devline. Le Corkbig in Council. Shane O'Neill. Immert idir Vianach, Valen Aspig, Agus the Oganach, Feshakli and the Diag Daish. Achtamachan, Lontasach, Brendan Barry, Hyde and Nahat Slot. Wilde Stachige, Shane Cadigan, Ergisch Litter Royal, Machtige Shane. Van Tevline, ach Sarah Hige on Manning. Cosint Tutsa, the Kilkenny. Peter O'Donovan, the Ligand and Schlitter, Schlauno, Lesh. Martian. Shahid on slow, a block of Croke, a lot in the Huide. I can see it. Value Stach. Colum Grant. Watch the video. Vale Owen. Richie Power. Chance again Richie. Richie Gailistach and Lewis Lazarus. Katana under. Well, Ekurada Willie and son. Vertus the Corkiga and Cool Boy the Tachtamach. Ono Sullivan. Achajo, Lord the Poitke. Agus. Anna Vertich, Dinton son again. Morris O'Sullivan. Morris. With Chef Adarohin. Isaki O'Halpine. Bachter Harnashin is Kevin Canty and Farafui the Cole. Agus Colleen is Kevin Canty.
You can see every time the ball comes up towards Asaki O'Halpine, there's a little bit of bother. And once again, Kevin Canty's positional sense paid dividends.
Martin, Coolidge in the forward. Agus, Colum Grant. Hurling, Lasmud and Line, Coogvedder agus Dahad. Harakiri the Cork, Mark Harrington. Agus, Brendan Barry, Obwolistach, Gidi Kevin Canty, Kalish Dientige Kevin. Umprahit Roada.
Took more than the required number of steps. Free to Kilkenny.
John Dalton, a Hokwigi counter. Agus pacht a good clue to reach the sun. Again, Richie Power. Stitte hit it all. Stitte Buntigo. Agus Ono Sullivan, a cousin Gamada Horkik. Achtamach. Golden Clitter Gama. Machajo Lord the Poitke. Shaquin, Kilkenny. Agus John Tennyson. Erai Gidi Michael Fennelly. Sarah Henson the Horkik. Barry Coleman. Machte and so again. Own Guinen, Joe and Vajora. No Sullivan. Luli Tauk to get a schlitter because Glant to get Irish Lord the Poitke. I guess Shahe Peter O'Donovan. Achdesh the Kilkenny. Raigadi Richie Powell. Richie. Erik Chaffet's Patrick Heimshow. Shahe Cha. Kalish Dinta Ercha. Again Niall Horgan.
While Niall Horgan is doing reasonably well on Chaffis Patrick is the real danger man, as well as Richie Power. Down the middle, Kilkenny are very strong. But if they give away silly frees like this, Cork could well pay.
Richie Power, Green Gama, on I'm shoe. Then it wasn't a lechre if you get Kilkenny and the rig. Will take a Richie, because Green Taylor, the Kilkenny.
Nice skill evident here. Fine effort to catch that ball by Brendan Barry.
Kilkenny, at the end of this power, Alan Healy, Agus Kalish Dinta and Alan. Alan on another comma. Was the Vacklane CU Leveil, Portloidge, Macle Dermot Healy, there no Dermot to have him likely an issue stolen. Richie Power, Hokwig counter, Lost the Kieran, Heggeston Schlitter no, that no going. Hein clear Marialet, and Night Henche, Lucian Che, Becher Shin, Krinis, Home Irish Wide, again. Richie Power, Queen to Ellie.
Two quick points by Richie Power, but you can see when he does gather possession away from his free-taking abilities, he is willing to take on the Cork defence and run straight at them.
Martian. Queen to Voin. Aha, Atra, a lot of the Huidi. Cha Fitzpatrick, Rahimach. Cha, Corridor Willie Gadasic, Michael Hurling. Johnson Glanta. Ebn alive edition and so. Machtige John Tennyson. John Tennyson. Wasn't Goma. Owen Manning. Manatalo nach ni Vater Huig. Agus Anna Ruhar Father get Donach Cody. Stachti Trafford Patrick. Cha. Umpu Temple. A Vola and Clitter. Ach, et here no live clay.
Fine fielding here. Wonderful play by John Tennyson, who comes into this game with impressive credentials.
John Tennyson, daar nou Raunich, maar Landgoleich, die hecha aan. Kahra Cork Ganaianach, Ronan Conway, Shellebit Ritrasna, John Dalton, Agus Isaki O'Halpine, Agus Kalish Dente, again Alpinach, John Dalton. Martin John Dalton, a Hokey Council. Oh, Harrig na Shauk. Anna Willie Lecord na Guihe. Atlantis, Maravisara, Cosentodi Horkui and Baltason, Shane O'Neill, Dian Gomagadisa, Isaki O'Halpine, Emehemach Ashud, Agus Rat, the forward, Kilkenny, that no. Hochschlasse, a Kilkenny. Shane Cadigan. Will take a Shane, Achsar Head of Horpig, Stephen Cronin. Lord Poitke. Rit Trasnanson, Peter O'Donovan. Agusinish, John Dalton. Jamie John, the dear guest up, Kevin Canty, Agus, a chest up for Higge. Le Corpig and Council. Ronan Conway, the Hokey Council. Bisheshu de Raus, Nike Ivali. Ashe Bishena Venura reached the Vienchahuin, Peshach Briana Diag. The Blohe Kaharu Kanish, Noche Avianach. At the end of Shelish Council, Ili, Irgoma. Will to Gadasiga. August. Winterstach, Sarahe. August. Right to know, Le Kilkenny, Ganaha Oil. Ronan Conway, Chancellor Ronan, Builte Ronan, Agus Colleen Das the Horkig. Ronan Conway.
Ronan Conway here from a reverse angle, getting this clearance. There was a save here right on the line by Peter O'Donovan, and when it came out to the Bishopstown clubman out here on the left wing, he steadied himself well and judged it perfectly. Good score.
Martin, Michael Benelli, Derek Chaffetz Patrick Reimschuh, Fachte Inishig Richie Powell. Richie, had the chance to Richie, Savolig, Ono Sullivan Council. Onagus, Anama, we should dust the Corkui. Isaki, Gaidiga Horde, Fachtige, Waltamach Shaheron and Conway. Afraid to point to Ohienivin, Nagasana Lawson Sunige, Ronan, Bert Dinebert Korgohige, Stachanish, the Brendan Barry. Wulte Amachige Shoe, Dagus, Wulte Roada, and have no live edition. On Mia and Baltason, Le Corkig, Anna Walter, Kevin Canty and Baltason.
This was a very close call, as you can see. O'Donovan was on the line supporting his goalkeeper.
Olum Grant, in the top oil, Ohienivin. Agus Ruhistach, Ray Wall. Jahere Eilish Gerhaunig and Corkig. Went to the Richie Powell, that is pointed Ega Rich. Neil, no, Niha. Rashi had Bull Yager. He's Kintiger Head, near Head, and Hemel Abidisha.
Good effort here by Richie Powell, top scorer for Kilkenny with a goal and 10 points out of 2 championship matches, man. That was very close.
Last modern bullet. Shohé David Prendergast. Agus stoppa higadas again Morris O'Sullivan. Agus Shohé Morris. Wiltige Morris. Drilted na live clay. A yish for a mooge.
Cork seem to be a little bit anxious, Mihal. They're sending in a lot of shots. I feel that Isaki O'Halpine is a match winner inside there if they feed the ball in. Lovely skill here by Morris O'Sullivan to even have a chance of a shot at goal. Good block down.
Agus Schnee, Braher Damien, Brennan. Brennan. Nach Baddenson again Michael Ahern. Or the Money, Mark Carrington, Kuradavile Afach. Agus Chancellor ige Kilkenny dollar in onse ach saval ige podio and Haval Ferro wa kaum tsumige modio agus kadiyana she et hikshenus et schlitter et khashe hin et schlitter nische bige chance again Ferrington.
Malone O'Sullivan decided to use the hurley here instead of possibly gathering it into the chest and tried to control it, but the forward was in very quickly on top of him. He did obviously, as you can see here, lie on the ball, and the referee is having a word with his umpires as we look at it again. Keeper really should have just gathered that cleanly, but having made the mistake, lied on the ball. Ray Wall was in very quickly on top of the keeper.
Then a question for Shen Willis or Ray Wall. Agus Began Moltoid, Gary Kelly, allowed Krishna Moid. Orlaish Gret for Shen Wille or Ray Wall Homa, Marshall. Peter Foxer Mach Lechau. Hook Kerry Vader Diag.
Giving a free into Kilkenny.
Eline Fehmeder, Richie Powell, Oki Counsa. Richie agus Sostal in a Fuinte.
4 points for Richie Power in this match so far, and a bit of a let-off for Cork with that mistake by the goalkeeper. I count a very quick count. I think he's something like 8 hurleys, 9 now that I see as he pucks the ball out.
Agus Ganani Street Arian Chamon. Agus Shahid Cork ige Cossant, Kevin Canty, Dollar in Onsey, Mark Goody, Badlar Poitke, Mark Carrington, a ball and clitted, Trasna Inish Goody, Owen Manning. Owen Martlish, Ishtati Brendan Barry, Mark Kuradavile, Atsunaga John Tennyson, Sarah Offa, Deshelige Kevin Canty, a Machanish di Morris O'Sullivan. Morris Sagas on Mialish. Isaki O'Halpine, Kadianashe, Ni Heperikiad Valta, Jansige Isaki, Machtastach, Agus Tokashe Fuinte. Ach, Ni Hopig. Oh, with Gasta a Fuinte a Hogwind.
Well, the very minimum that was required out of all of this was a point. Isaki, look at the way he just stepped by the challenge of Shane Cadigan. Unfortunately, Isaki miscued completely.
Colm Grant Martian, Ole Kilkenny, agus Shohé Kevin Brendan Barry, agus Eddie Isaki O'Halpine a Reimshow. Gus Logan Moore Fada ige Isaki, Hemmer Hagas a tent agus ige. Sean Og agus 2 ach Shohé Machtastach. Wilt mach ige di Ronan Conway. Kalish diente a Ronan agus Puxair the Horpig. Kalish diente.
Referee indicates that there was some jersey pulling here, but let's just have a look at it again. I think just pulling with the hurley rather than pulling on the jersey.
Morris O'Sullivan, Oki Counsa. Ige Morris, agus Ganain Daru, Diente Morris.
Where Kilkenny were expected to dominate, actually the Cork changes which brought in Owen Manning back into the team for this semi-final to midfield, and the switch of Kevin Canty and Brendan Barry has worked very well for Cork, and Kilkenny surprisingly seeming to have a few problems with John Tennyson at centre back and John Dalton at full.
Well, Neil Kilkenny soccer to she's a gart, Shohe, Brian Clifford, Anna Amani, Maravis Olive, the Nivas the Cousin Toydis, Vera Hockley, Rovlin as a Kale, John Tennyson, the Tarakade Gownson, Leila Loy, the Shohe reached, and Fatkiana, Brian Clifford. Will take a Mahage Brian, Bach the Gadasaka, John Dalton, Cousin Toyd Mahe John, Lost the Heroine. Will to get in there well on board. I guess she shall be initiative present. Joe Lord na Portke, Mark Harrington. Erich Zorhe, I get David Prendergast, Richie Powell, I have Jeff Fitzpatrick, will to get shoe the Stachanish, Goody, Own Guinan, chance to get own, will to get own, and that's pointed as the Own Guinan.
Just 1 point between the teams, and you'd have to say Owen Guinan showed a lovely piece of skill here, made great space for himself and availed of it by putting the slither over the bar.
Agus Hoinomet Brishe, Cadahe, Egan Multoid, Barry Kelly. Council Mihama Harisha Devline. David Prendergast, Opigi Council. Of the hard Nile, the mass none of the hit. Istachige, attack the Macht the Horpig, Ono Sullivan, the Macht Biddy Own Manning. Yerach Sarhagadasiga, Richie Powell, Shahed Brian Clifford. We'll take a Brian, the Stach, and Mihe Obaris O'Sullivan. I guess chance at Saga Kevin Canty, and Artian Tedigus, Brendan Barry got a Stach. Prendergast, take a shin scaling at David Prendergast. I guess gonna have them on again. After Father Huege Erach, Sarhige Mark Harrington. Stach Joe and Hole and Ordele Isaki. Down the way. On the Ole. Perfect nach Dinnikavia, nach Shadinnika, Ronan Conway. Last mother, Own Manning. Ronan Hayne, a toad fake, as printed Asile. I get Ronan Conway.
Cork stretched their lead to 2 points, but again, Kilkenny seemed to be very slow in delivering a long ball out of defence, very hesitant. Good score though by Ronan Conway. Lovely skill here by David Prendergast. He's without a hurley, he's lost it. Up, gathers, puts the head down and makes a clearance.
Peladori Mahagil Clinic Lesh, Brian Clifford, Eredalov. Agus. Últa Stachel Ashley, Own Guinan, nach an Bertian Tershood. Agus. Barry Coleman a Cork. Barry Foss. Mialish in Eden Loy. Agus. Michael Fennelly. Mac Deshistach. Chansiga shoot their score. Michael Fennelly. Wiltigadasiga Trasna Tugadi. Richie Powell. Richie Powell. Wiltiga Richie gas point to Ella the Kilkenny. Richie Powell.
Great run here by Donncha Cody that set up Richie Power, and Richie's, I think he had almost goal there in his mind. Great run through, and again you can see Cork just look a little bit porous when Kilkenny run at them.
Mashin, Brian Clifford, a Hokig counter. Slasa de Horpig, beter chance der nog, maar gewoon om te Cadahe igen Multoid. Als je het zo'n gaulische steek. Goed te stachige, agus Ronan Conway, en machtlich. Ronan, de bolen klitter, Krasne, ongoil, ach, Boliger. Agus Shine Lahama.
Well, by no means a thriller. An interesting first half in the minor championship. A goal by Kevin Canty in the opening 10 minutes certainly paved the way. He's one of only 2 goal scorers in the championship so far for Cork. Cork very much point orientated, but Kevin Canty has scored a goal and a point in this match, and in that particular performance between himself and Brendan Barry gives Cork a 1 point advantage at half time here at Croke Park. It's Cork 1-5, Kilkenny 7 points.
senior game, of course, coming up at 3:30 between Tip and Kilkenny, and I'm sure you recognise one or two of the faces, or tops of heads anyway, in that particular picture. DJ Carey and colleagues from Kilkenny looking forward to that senior game, and down on pitch side just discussing the afternoon's big match, I'm sure. The game that we're watching is the minor semi-final between Cork and Kilkenny. Cork just shading it at half-time, 1-5 to 7 points. Michael Duignan and Gerlach Nan here with me in the presentation box. We had talked and praised up Kilkenny big time before the match, but they're a point down.
Yeah, that's the danger, I suppose, of going overboard. But, you know, the game generally is dead game. Last week we had a great minor match here, plenty of great forward play. This week there seems to be no room down there. They look to be two very strong physical teams, but very little flair on show at this stage. Maybe a little bit the pressure, maybe, you know, the occasion, getting to an Ireland final. But Cork are doing most of the hurling, I have to say. Their backline have completely dominated the Kilkenny forwards. And just there before half-time, Kilkenny got 2 points from play, and that's the only 2 points they got from play in the first half, which I'm sure they won't be happy with. So, and Kilkenny aren't playing that much first-time hurling. They're getting caught in possession, trying to barge out of the ball, getting hooked and blocked. And they're not playing any ground hurling. Normally Kilkenny around midfield, half forward line, the ball will be flashing into the full forward line, but they're supplying the ball very slow, and they don't look like getting scores, and you know they'll have to up their game in the second half.
I'm sure the Kilkenny selectors will send them out a little bit more spark in them in the second half. Gerlach Nan, one score in the first half from a Cork point of view that was our definite right spark was the goal that they got, and well taken.
A very well taken goal, and the surprising thing here about it, well, here's a long ball in. Kevin Canty is the scorer of the goal, who was supposed to start to centre forward. Ball breaks down him and he buries it in the corner of the net. Now, here it is in again. Now, a fault here by the full back, who didn't win the ball in the air and breaks down to Canty, and he first time, and Cork have done an awful lot of first time hurling, and that's been the big difference between the two teams here. But what puzzles me is John Tennyson was the best full back at minor last year. He's out at centre back today for Kilkenny. He seems cumbersome, he seems out of place, and he seems slow at centre back. Now, his one big attribute was he's very good in the air. Now, why they didn't leave him at full back, I don't know. Yeah. Now, Cork, of course, being Cork, had a smart ply as well. They made the full forward follow him out. And Canty, who was supposed to be at centre forward, they put him in at full forward. Canty has scored 1-1. So,
that's right.
All over the field, Cork's planning is good here. I'm really impressed by two Cork players in the half-back line. Michael Ahern at centre-back has been very good, but the start of the show so far has been Brian Clifford, that blondy-haired wing back over there, at left half-back for Cork, playing direct, fast hurling. Cork are playing the real Cork hurling. Sharp, direct, win it, move it. Yeah. Kilkenny are catching it. They're running with it. They're running into trouble. They even look cumbersome at times. Really disappointed with this Kilkenny team, as we said, which were so hyped up before the game.
Mind you, there was one incident in the first half that might actually have given Kilkenny the lead if they got a penalty out of this situation. This is where the goalkeeper saved the ball, then laying it. A free was given out of this. Now, if it was going to be anything, surely it had to be a penalty.
Well, that's it. Yeah. He did lie in the ball. There's you see a lot of that, especially in winter hurling, ball breaking and someone lying it. And actually, GA brought in a rule last year that if a player lies on the ball, it should be a free. Now, most times referees give a throw in because it's the easy way out. Yeah. But you see here, knocks the ball down, and he lies on the ball. Then, so that's a free, and it's a free inside the 6-yard line. Has to be a penalty. A free inside the 14 is a penalty. So the referee got that one wrong. But it's a thing that was creeping into the game. You see a lot of lads lying over the ball, and the ref's not.
Trouble as well, mind you.
He got a couple of little taps there, But I think he made the most of it by staying down and probably confused.
Yeah, he kind of confused the goalie in that. He kind of confused the referee. Did he lie in it, or was he knocked on it? Exactly. So I suppose the referee said, "Sure, next best thing, we'll give him 21."
Yeah, but a free penalty.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for that. We have another commercial break to take. We're back with the second half of this All-Ireland minor semi-final right after that. The minor semi-final against Kilkenny, 1-5 to 7 points. Just for the moment, we're going to refer to the senior game. More than an interested spectator at that senior game between Kilkenny and Tip later on will be former Tip star, former Tip manager Nicky English. He's with Ger Canning.
He is indeed, Michael. And one thing we haven't seen for about 3 weeks around this country, it's rain and it's on its way. Nicky, that could change things around a little bit. Mind you, the rivalry and the sense of anticipation here today is terrific.
Yeah, it's particularly with Cork winning yesterday. I think there's a huge expectation that either Cork and Tip or Cork and Kilkenny final is going to be a very big game. So it's a pity the rain is coming out because it could make it pretty awkward out here today, I think.
I remember being at a training session down in Kilkenny some years ago saying, is it Kilkenny and Cork? Is that the big rivalry? And they say, not at all. It's the neighbours. It's Kilkenny and it's Tip.
Yeah, it's the big one. And, you know, Tip owe Kilkenny won from last year. And we haven't met often enough in the championship, you know, because they're two of the biggest teams in hurling. And it'll be a serious game today.
And give us a winner.
I think Tip will win today. Let's try.
Alan Healy, and so Mechter in ons agus ahrú an chorcaí buirteisteige agus anna hábháil istigige Eoin O'Sullivan ha Michael Allen gimmert de chorcaig sa tarna le agus Mark Carrington imihe.
Yeah, just a change there at half-time. Michael Allen is on for Mark Harrington in a switch in their half-forward line. Cork obviously trying to strengthen their team there. Good save here by Eoin O'Sullivan because he was under threat. Did very well.
Anna Havoil, maar het didn't toe. Agus chansige Corkig dal. Off Winte, Huntusig. Winte boin. Lorna huide. Scaroon na Vorne. Wilte istegige Morris O'Sullivan. Agus in is ta off Winte atre. Marsin, Colm Grant, agus Mossenie, Loni Bug, and Mike Kilkenny, and so Tarnala. We have shaded Katach, Temple the Poetke. Shin Anna Willie Amach Wiltige, Dachgedi and Lina Latosig. Wilte Stachenson, again Alan Healy, Planta Amach, again Michael Ahern, again Chancelishiga Brendan Barry. Immer til den hat slot, de sterke Kevin Canty, chansige Kevin amach de stach, Isaac lastig de heve voin. Like said de vel Morris O'Sullivan, han miole Morris. Pop cool verder agus chief hit, de Hortbig.
Cork looked so dangerous, and again it came from a great ball from Brendan Barry. Chance here, which was saved I think by the keeper in combination of that and the post, but it is a 65 for Cork.
Agus Possum Toid, Michael Ahern, a Hokwig Council. Cheshut, Crave, Socher na Hayden, Emiliana, Le Balanasik, Agus Maravis Raw, Manishech and Poitke, Son A Emmert, and I cover Darden, Fablianigus Fehe. Okay, we'll take a pointed ass again, Michael Ahern.
Well, centre-back Michael Ahern, the player that has impressed Sherlock Nan most, is along with Kevin Canty, are the only two goal scorers in this Cork team. And this despite their 5th game in the championship. Centre-back, centre-forward, the only two goal scorers.
Shin. Kilkenny. Gonna get Arna Alidu. Bitter to the dollar. Bafrish Dacharisti, Nidian for. Wiltanoon, Anna Skillige Kilkenny, Goody Pat Hartley. Pat Hartley, I guess, on son, Alan Healy, Heather, Michelle Lorug, Poxayer. For push it, by Alan Healy, Achnivuit.
Well, I think it was a case of one of them, two of them, they were both going for the ball here, and I think they both kind of tripped each other as such. I think the referee made the right call.
Machine, Eoin O'Sullivan. Hoedvig na Guihe, Satarnala. Ulavoin, Oscarund O'Hale. Speded Lidihu Ovidin with Anna Watson against David Prendergast. Nahorhe against Brian Clifford. Well, dan Boxer Fachte and Balkasa egg Alan Healy.
No question this time that Alan Healy was fouled by left cornerback Shane O'Neill.
Shin, Richie Power.
Some fine fielding in this game. We saw Michael Ahern do it as well in the first game. David Prendergast doing it there.
Shin, Richie Power. For Shed, good point to secure that. Deshigan, get down and issue all Satarnala. Will take a Richie, I guess. Indeed, it's not really.
6th point of the match for Richie Power. Kilkenny still relying very much on frees rather than from play for scores.
Il Atara a half Winte. Eoin O'Sullivan. Maharish Lord na Poitke. Ronan Conway. She half Winte secured la. John Dalton. She Peter O'Donovan. Emmy Hibwig. Agus Fachte again Morris O'Sullivan. Stachel Arsley. Gedi Kevin Canty. Kevin Amachlish. Isaki, Fachta Gamahege. Wultigadian, another Yacha. Lagi Rachtwig shoot, Chancelishiga Brendan Barry, Sorhe. Isaki, Trasnan Hul, Lacha, Ed Shachron.
This is an aspect of Kilkenny's game again that I mentioned in the first half. Defensively, they're very slow in getting rid of the ball. Cork, to their credit, we have to give them plaudits because they certainly have had their chances here, and they keep the pressure on when Kilkenny are trying to clear.
Richie Power Rahistach, Shahe, Cha Fitzpatrick, Harnashgadi Richie. Richie Stachalashli, Yachshani, Stack, Hossanta, Horkui, Brian Clifford. Schlitter, Eredalov. Brendan Barry, Cork, Owen Manning. Owen Manning. Will to Ileha Hulige. Will Kalish Dienta, Heinish. Hoxair, the Kilkenny. Richie Power and high shape Puinte over the shaft. Will take a Richie against a screen and come on.
Same as at half-time, Cork just with their noses in front by the narrowest of margins. Richie Power now with 7 points in this semi-final.
Shachgin as Naigin, Gudisa. Agus Kilkenny. Edin Unsi, Nisavo, Inish Satarnala. Namar Visi Kiedla. Wulte Stach, Gudi Ongainen. Vegas Wulte Matniha. Wulte, no, Wulte Ershachron. Ershachron again. Ray Wall. Cork agus a gawn van Keen, egen te, de puinte boin. De Cork en Council. Stephen Cronin. Here, Brian Clifford. Agus Dermot Ring, Bannistoor, Dierig en Akelish. Drachjaun. Sarah Henson again, dan nog een Cody. Korkosje, Korefero nog Agus Poxair.
No question here that Donncha Cody was fouled. Tripped as he was trying to make a clearance.
Grave Ille Eden, le Closhte Heroin, Emiliana. Agus ahead of Fiachan to Tsunewid. One to get. Agus chance to get David McCormack. Ach, Sarah Higgadas and son again, Niall Horgan. Niall Fevru Offach. Agus chance to get Kilkenny. Gach, Wilte. Puck could get agus chief hit Michael Fennelly.
First time really that we've seen Cork under pressure. Niall Horgan not clearing and it deflecting off a Cork player out for a 65.
Marcin, Deschele, ege Richie Power. Stel gebe Pat Hartley gedemachi. Achshahe, Richie Power. Agus Aharahe is Stoche. T is account again. Roher Damien Brennan. Richie Power. Wiltige Richie, ach ni Revetale Richie and Balthasar.
I suppose we should point out as well, Micheál, about the breeze here in Croke Park. I've been trying to keep an eye on the flags, and sometimes it's blowing from left to right, other times it's the other direction, so you can't actually make a major declaration on the weather here. It's a swirling breeze, very difficult for these young miners.
Stemmer ha, Hashikatach. Shin dienta gadas again on the day. Wollte Trasna, Maris O'Sullivan, and Jonah Carnoig, Sara Higadasiga, Colin Grant. Anna Napsanair, Owen Manning. Drachaun, Richie Power, Hanson, Winter the Richie. Agus. Nish, Prendergast. Wollte Amacha Geshood, Goody. Way wall. Matt Leschestach. Alla, Callis, Dentonson, go follow Sachid. Tarakid. Again. Michael Ahern.
Ray Wall being fouled here by Michael Ahern.
Marcin, Deschele, again Richie Power. Shachgin Gadisa, and Waishan Tochtu Kaun. Chance Mahige. Richie Power, because pointed over the hole.
Sides level, and they can thank the free-taking ability of Carrick Shocks. Richie Power, as you said, Micheál, 8 points now to his personal tally.
Marcin, Ono Sullivan, Abola Amach, Gideon Inadi, Michael Allen, Mach Harashadev Line, Agus Puckschlasse, the Kilkenny.
It's very dull actually here now in Croke Park, but no rain as of yet. Well, there is obviously a few drops, but judging from our vantage point here, very little of it. Just seems to be a little mist coming in.
Peter O'Donovan, O Chuslan and Homid, Pobbleskull, Crev Bean a Hayden, Buetinis Tushkim Lianaka, Agus Pucksair, and a Huil, the Kilkenny, Cook Vedras Tahadamach on a Moide Hain. John Tennyson, Cal Moore Fada. Rihistach and so, David McCormick. David. Wallistach Alashley, Achsar Higadas again, Michael Ahern. Lanta again, Michael. Good in the Villigan Boyd. David Prendergast. Ryan Clifford, the Tarak, Higia the Yarach, I guess, Maharisha de Bleed. John Lucy, Takahechan Porky, get Cork, agus Stephen Cronin, Imahid on board.
Just a change in the Cork half-back line. Donica Lucy from Bandon now coming in to join Michael Ahern and Brian Clifford. Kilkenny are warming up Maurice Nolan, scorer of 2 points in the previous championship matches, obviously trying to change their attack.
Marcin, Puckschlasse, the Kilkenny. Donacha Cody, went to Gadasiga, Goody Richie Power. Richie Power, Ragasana, Faintiger, Richie Power.
Kilkenny are in front, and again it's the name of Richie Power taking the sideline cut, and this is one of the best points of the match. We can see from our camera position at the far side, reverse angle.
Agus Aharu in Kilkenny, David McCormick, Imehe, Agus Maurice Nolan, Takahe Edeboy. Maurice V. Gimmert Nis Tushkilo, Shahe Peter O'Donovan. Vanna Tevline, Sara Hige Ono Sullivan, Imehe Buig. Wintergo, Agus Anna Varteicht, Dente and Son, Hige Barry Coleman. Well, Neil Tussahe Chorkei, Diana Homas, the Tarnala, Agus Vidar Sakirla, Chad Fitzpatrick, back to get Shag, Agus Anna Yesha get Shag, a shin pointed das, the Kilkenny.
Charles Fitzpatrick becomes the third Kilkenny forward to score in this semi-final. Owen Guinan and of course the aforementioned Richie Parr. Charles Fitzpatrick again comes in with big credentials into this match. It's his first in the semi-final.
Carta gut, vi sé siúd ar aus an rig. Agus Poxair an san da Kilkenny. Donnach Cody. The goal har da súd a vegama agus sné hókig an counter. Agus Dennis ring in is agus beidir imní tachted. Slaunach an Derek halfwinted an Geert Woute an ai Kilkenny. Donnach Cody. Wiltig gomahege imihe o Brian Clifford. Agus fachtige Richie Power. Richie Bullen Clitter go Holland an son gedi Pat Hartley agus Pat Quinte Elle the Kilkenny.
This is a great score, Micheál. All created by the vision of Richie Parr. Crossfield ball sent straight across over towards Pat Hartley, and Hartley scores his second point.
Emmer weg zo let goelig in het zonnige Richie Power. Poxair, gnohehe an son. Ege Cork igen onadai, Dana Lucy. Agus Fralia Cork. On Varna Alidu. Morris O'Sullivan. A Hookig and Counter. Ook sé pokken na sére anava en ai konte chláid. De konte hene verti agus an council leis builte go maige.
Morris O'Sullivan from Ballyhay, club rich in tradition just outside Charleville in North Cork. And Morris O'Sullivan brings Cork just a little bit closer, keeps them in contention.
Fáfinte, Colm Grant, ní feice. Agus stolum go be Ronan Conway, a chuir council amach, mar sin le Kilkenny, agus an bráthir Damien Brennan, agus Eric Sprague in spráid a húrt de Ian Kilkenny. Ha siad áfhainte an tusig, tas dyn wig ar aidís nís a hiach an tusig. Donnach a Cody mar sin. Bwlte ige donnacha. Ach sáirithe ige Dana Lucy. Dana i lethe chúil go dtí Shane O'Neill. Agus imimeach an son Ronan Conway.
You can see here there's an effort to try and get a little bit of an edge. Croke Park pitch is so even.
Mark Becker ige donnacha an son, a Mark Hain. A hele heen. Slechtie Charles Fitzpatrick. Trasnan Chúil, Clown Dain Sherach, agus Slaunathe Owen O'Sullivan. Ach, Owen Fós. Tachtamach lethe Shane O'Neill. Wantige Shane. Morris O'Sullivan. Fachtige Dasige. Peter O'Donovan. Coragóige Morris. Morris am Achtas Istach. Anna Yeshige Morris. Bwlte Istach a John Chúil. Ach, well. Bí nartige í siúd a húrt leis níos a hia ach léir gin. Ina dí de chorcaig Sinead Éanson, Diarmuid Doris agus Ronan Conway imimehin.
This is a fine catch here by Morris O'Sullivan. He also has the ability to skip by Peter O'Donovan here. Just his final shot, just not up to scratch.
Donnach a Cody Rahimach. Wiltige gedi David Prendergast. Trasnan Chúil agus Niall Horgan. Shasa van Owen. En de Luterator. Wachte again in a day Morris Nolan. Morris Nolan amach gedi Richie Power agus Wiltige siúd agus elbow later. Well, vi chans ma faintige ach ní raidig leis.
And again, that man, Richie Power, always available, always creative.
When it counts on Hornoch dan glue, there me cart on the Quilly. John Tennyson, the Cossent, Harnashinish, good Peter O'Donovan. Peter van der Tevlien against Morris Nolan, Cork Goma. The Kilkenny. Richie Power, Connor Counter, a Hogant. Ile Giergama, a Richie. Ach, Imani, Anish Gilular Fad. Well, take a Richie, because they no gana and they quainty every day.
Well, he really has dominated this game, both from play and from the free-taking perspective.
Martin Hain and Hulavain ha atra, Agus Ono Sullivan, and Bolan Clitteramach, Shaheonel, on Gainen. Chance again, painted, Nafashif again Kilkenny.
Well, this player as well, alongside Richie Power, looks the most dangerous Kilkenny forward this afternoon, getting away, skipping away from the challenge. Good score.
Martin, score at Hastalo Cork, contact the Nash, Nilena on Welchin. Brian Clifford, Curadavili, Brian Gortehe, Dachta Gaude Dafach, Shane O'Neill, Agus Desha Hurt again, Moltoid, with the Koch on Vertico, Huhuhin, Brian Clifford and son, Gortehe Gama, Agus Adrabe Pat Hartley, Milisagum, Nihe, Achta Brian Gortehe.
This was a clash just for the ball here. Brian Clifford coming out the worst of it.
Martin, Barry, Kelly, a tour dish than Dahev, Tahu Hain. Agus Cosul go will Brian Clifford, Gorte Higama, Shane Cadigan, Takahe Higahin, Nogni He, Alan Healy, Alan Healy.
Alan Healy, the left-hand forward, and Brian Clifford colliding there. And you can see the two of them certainly felt that clash. But Brian Clifford is the one that's still requiring some medical attention.
Har Annas de Fuller Fad, Clifford, Agus. Sinead Naranoidi, the Kilkenny, Joe Dunphy, Joe Hennessy, Tony Maher, Agus Brian Waldron, Brian de Waldron. Agus yet so ní sa hostel lá na huide mar go bhfuil rána cotíantachta I mé chun sig an moltóir chuinn slitar a habsteach na huid feisteach aige agus deisige Kilkenny Rodlish Richie Power trof Hansen Baltus and Richie Donna Lucy Isaki O'Halpine Schlauna Huig Isaki Harnash Himachatsa, Peter O'Donovan, agus Yechentlish, Morris O'Sullivan, Isaki, Schlauna Hechantaloon, agus Puck, Schlassa, the Kilkenny. Peter O'Donovan, Fobblesquill, Cushlan and Homid, Rachown, Morris O'Sullivan. Overstag. Ach, le Cork ik kan nooit hissen. Martin, Deshige far Valley he. Morris O'Sullivan, wacht, liggen Donna Lucy en Council Hogant. Wordt het naar bounden.
Cork are hoping that this will be cut in around the house, and they're obviously intent on trying to get a goal out of this.
Well, chuireadh sé anam sa chlutha. Ann das ard builtige, trasna an chól ach imihimú.
Just reflecting there on this Kilkenny performance, Richie Power with 10 points. Hart Hartley, the midfielder, with 2. Chaff Fitzpatrick and Owen Guinan on the full forward line with a point each. And certainly he dominates this Kilkenny team.
Richie Power agus echt scorála go dísa, Colm Grant. And Lone Ibrahim Gamson. Shansiga Cork, Dollar in on sea. Good to Gadas, Gistach, and so Giddy in the deal. Doris. Ja, Kilkenny agus Anna Fossent. Ach puck weder agus chief hit. Ach tá Michael Allen at a Dolov Gorstehe. Michael Allen Gorstehe.
Diarmuid Doris from Glen Rovers. Look at that for great defending by Donncha Cody. Doris from Glen Rovers actually comes into this game after some wonderful performances with Glen Rovers in the City Championship in Cork, but great defending by Donncha Cody.
Michael Allen, Iridolov. Alan O'Connor, Takahead Boyd, Michael Allen, Gorstehe, Emihead on Boyd, Allen, Vigimmer, the Lord Port, Gaelish the Pilladoidi.
Yeah, you're dead right, Micheál. Alan O'Connor is one of the dual stars in this Cork minor team.
Michael Ahern, Martian, Hockey Council. Wiltige Michael, agus Pointe Tastal, ach, Nivai. Snean Taharu, a Haidiantaka. Ganain Dehinis, Ed Kilkenny, Inish. Oinomit Brishe, Cadahe, again Moltoid. Come on, the Mahasara. Could be at the Vex of Lohic Canish. Chaff Fitzpatrick. Will to Stach at Joe the Carnoige. Agus. Talia Corkwick. Donna Lucy. Will to get shoot. Goody. Ono Sullivan. Ono gas Irach Zarahe, again Morris Nolan. Agus Cahiga Moltoid Council Istachatra. Barry Kellinson. Van Schlittersa, Hahabistachatra. Morris Nolan, agus Ono Sullivan, near the Kele. Bachte, ige Ray Wall. Yerach Zoot Sarahe, ige Kevin Canty. Donncha Cody. Good to Donncha. Kevin Canty. Amachanson, goody Barry Coleman. Count Father, Isaki, Gaidi Gahar, the Stachanish, goody Morris O'Sullivan, Cool at Hastal Waha, Achni Vaisheda, non wide, Beder Gavaidisht, Diarmuid Doris, Sagasashi Senetam, Diarmuid Doris, Cool the Hotkick.
Cork are back in the match. And all the talk about Diarmuid Doris comes through here, but you have to credit Morris O'Sullivan for creating the chance. But look at that lovely little flick for Diarmuid Doris.
Agus Inish, Ilonach and Fuintevine, Hoinomit Brishe, Cadahe, again Moltoid.
Just watch the flick here to beat the keeper, Micheál. Lovely skill by Doris. Just lovely little touch.
Well, Kilkenny, Richie Power, pass me him away. Saw the hit and son, like a Shane O'Neill. Back to Harnash. The Kilkenny, get Richie. Chaff Fitzpatrick, Yerach Zoots, saw the hit. Nishnuriev, Ikendahev, John Lucy. Kuradawili. Chance get Kilkenny. Wilte Stechenson, again Ray Wall. Ach, an Council Kuramu, Igare, Martian and Chlohid and Hawk on the Malgoni. Anam Takahi is a Chloher, did it here. And Brohead in Ish at the Hossarish, Damien Brennan.
This is the reverse angle on that goal. Morris O'Sullivan doing all the hard work. Doris had to beat the keeper. Look at just the way he did it. Beautiful.
Yogi Kiet scorele and Vigan Turp. Well, Kilkenny, aha, Edinonsi. Well, to Jonah Carnoige, Sarah, Brian Clifford. Hey, Brian. Derek Fitzpatrick, Chorda. And Fintivine. Paras Boydig, Kilkenny, Gagas, Anna Napson, Fadan Sonic and Belladou, Alan O'Connor, Alan the Machtestach, Chance Fosig, Corpig, a stop here. Kevin Canty. And the Monicht, Van a Talonanish, Gromit Nulehe. Wilt Istachige, Alan Healy. Achkurmuge Alan, Marchen, Fos, Kyle Hansige, Corpig, Tachter Nash, Agas Aharudish, Irin Kilkenny. Alan Healy, Emehe, Austin Murphy, Takahe, Erebord, the Kilkenny.
Fine catch by Alan O'Connor.
Ono Sullivan, Shinanaum Bresche, Noma Telefaka Fos. Nishno Riavig and Dahef, Cha Fitzpatrick, Brian Clifford, Charo Vaga, Josh Dachal-Ashley. Agasana Yeshinishiga Kilkenny Gagas Bine Eni Hey for a move away wall. Well,
just about 30 seconds of added time left, Mihal.
Nishno Riav. Chance Fosiga Cork, Ono Sullivan. Achanadok Shatig and Multoil, Van and Dino with the stick. Agas and Raptian to get Cork, Le Pointer, Kilkenny, Le Pointer Wine.
Words like workmanlike will be used to describe Kilkenny, because they really had to dig deep without ever being over impressive. But Cork, to their credit, fought back brilliantly with that Dermot Doris goal, gave them a chance of a draw. But at the end, thanks to Richie Power in particular, with 10 points, it's Kilkenny that go through to play Galway in the All-Ireland Minor Final of 2003 by the narrowest of margins. Kilkenny 15 points, Cork 2-8. Let's go back to the studio and Michael Lester.
Thank you indeed to Marty Morrissey and to Micheál O'Shea for commentary there on the minor match. Exciting enough at the end, I suppose. It was kind of, a done enough game. It never really sort of clicked into gear. Kilkenny got there just about, though.
Yeah, I think they upped the game a good bit in the second half. Cork got a couple of early points, and then Kilkenny realised we're in trouble here. They were 177 points down and been knocked out of the champion. And they upped the game considerably for the next 20 minutes, and really looked like they were home and dry, and then Cork got the late goal to bring them back into it. But I'd say they'll have to improve an awful lot for the final. They were workmanlike, but didn't really, played well within themselves, but didn't look as if they were overly interested. Just did what they had to do to get through.
There was just that one period in the middle of the second half when they let it flow. They had to let it flow, as Michael said, to put themselves into the game. They turned around a deficit into a lead with some lovely hurling now, it has to be said. We picked out a few examples here.
Well, some very, very good points. I mean, the game is the Richie Power show. That's what it was, basically. He scored 10 points today. Now, here are some of the points that they got from play. Here's Power again. Beautiful stroke off his left-hand side. He hit him left and right. He hardly missed the free today. Between himself and Cha Fitzpatrick, another a great point from here off his left-hand side. Now, I suppose, what will worry Kilkenny about this was the amount of scores they got from play was very, very little. Relying so much on a free take, you never associate that with Kilkenny. Now, here's Cha's 1 point in the game. Lovely stroke. He has now, to excuse Cha Fitzpatrick, he has been out for the last 5 weeks with a broken hand. He's just bad. They just kind of put him in today because they needed him so badly.
Yeah.
His touch was off slightly, but it shows the lovely stroke he has in the play, and it shows his potential, and I'm sure he'll improve enough. This is the best score of the game.
Yeah.
Now look at that for vision from Power. To pass it over to the midfielder, Pat Hartley, ball over the bar. Even in such a poor game, they did some beautiful things to show they have the potential. They didn't show that today. Now they have time to work on it before the final, and we'd hope that when they come to the final they play much better than that, because if they don't, God will beat them.
They will. Cork nearly kind of stole back into it in the end. Doris got a goal there, kept cool, took his goal very well, brought them back to within a point, but they couldn't get the equalising score. But I suppose it kind of tightened up again for Kilkenny.
Yeah, typical Cork. Like, you never know with Cork, Kilkenny, any teams like that, they'll always keep plugging away. Cork scored 2-5 in the last 10 minutes against Offaly in the semi-final, and the same today, late goal, but really for the last 20 minutes they were completely out of the game. They couldn't get past the Kilkenny half-back line. Like, Donnacha Cody was absolutely brilliant in the second half.
Yeah. This is the Cork goal coming up.
Yeah, a high ball in and just broke inside, and Maurice O'Sullivan, who I was very impressed with today, his shooting was a bit wayward. Nice ball, and young Doris, who commands the sub there, showed a nice touch to put it away. And that's hurling for you. 4 or 5 points up in a game of hurling. There's there's no panic. We're often hurling ourselves. We could be 7, 8 points down. I remember we were 11 points down one day against Clare, and we made a bit of a comeback in it.
I have forgotten all about that.
Just reminding Ger about
You only
that.
came back a bit of the way, as far as I remember. Isn't that right?
Came back a lot of the way. Came back a lot of the way against Limerick one day, but anyway.
Jimmy Cooney did us a big favour too that day, but that's another day's work.
Looking to the All-Ireland final then, Galway will look at that and they won't feel overly frightened by it.
No, I know. Galway always have good minor teams, and and this Galway team is very good. Some great forwards, a full forward in particular. The last, young Healy and Callan there as well. Very good. So Galway will play. Galway played with more flair than Kilkenny did today, but Kilkenny are very, very strong physically, and they're going to be hard to break down, especially in the half back line. But you feel there's a lot more in them. That they're playing well within themselves all the time. But two very good minor teams in the final, and hopefully, we played up Kilkenny a lot today, but hopefully we'll be expecting a lot more.
They look to be casual today. And one other worrying factor for Kilkenny is in the Leinster final they scored no goal.
Yep.
Today they scored no goal. They didn't even threaten a goal today. Now, for the supposed to be a super minor team, they should be doing better than that.
Yeah.
Matty Murphy will not be a bit intimidated by what he saw today. Now, Kilkenny will up their game. We'll have a real good All-Ireland minor final. But for Kilkenny to win it, they'll have to be much, much better than they were today.
Yeah, well, as we said, we suspect they might just be a lot bit better the next day out as well. So then, it's Galway and Kilkenny into the minor final. Who will be in the senior final? We know that Cork are there. John Conor and Dickie Murphy on the beaten Wexford side just past the door here, said hello to us a few minutes ago. They managed yesterday's losing Wexford team to Cork. Today, of course, it's about Tip and Kilkenny in the senior final. All of that after the commercial break.